Hey, folks, thanks so much for joining us. I'm joined today by one of our longest tenured club chairs, James Wolfe. James, thanks so much for being here today and to share some knowledge with us.
It's great to be here.
James, how long have you been our club chair in Charlotte?
Now over almost 11 and a half years.
My goodness. My goodness. And in addition to being a club chair, James, you also serve as the rep for the Gamecock Club.
That's correct.
And you've been doing that for both of them for the same amount of time, correct?
Correct.
Wow. Nice. So as part of this conference, we wanted to share resources with our club chairs. We have, 40 clubs across the country, and a lot of our clubs could benefit from hearing from one of our most tenured, I'd say actually our most tenured leader from our clubs. And in Charlotte, if you're not aware, Charlotte, they got it going on. They always have an event. They've been doing this so well for so long that we just figured we can't let James just be in Charlotte. We got to share his knowledge with all of our club chairs. So, James, can you kind of just give us a quick backstory to the club when you took over? How did things look, and then kind of how you brought it to where it is today?
So it's a great opportunity to be here. So thank you. And if it wasn't for me enjoying this, if it wasn't a labor of love, I wouldn't be here. You get out of it what you put into it. So I graduated in 2005, moved from Columbia to Charlotte, North Carolina. And at the time, Charlotte, North Carolina was a true out-of-state chapter. And I knew that we had a ton of Gamecocks up here and we weren't really doing anything. And I kept calling the school. And I was like, hey, what's up? What are we doing here? And the school finally said, listen, if you'd like to have an event, you can. If you have 50 people, we'll be impressed. So I started a group on this thing called Facebook. Now, I say it like that because in 2008 and 2009, it was not popular like it is now. And My Carolina was able to send me some swag in advance. So thank you, My Carolina, for doing that. And basically, we went to this bar and we said, hey, I have no idea how many Gamecocks are going to come. We have a bunch of Gamecocks in town. We're going to open up against NC State, against a guy named Russell Wilson. I'm hoping for 50 people. We're going to promote this event, and we want to have some fun with this. So we opened up. We played NC State. We were hoping for 50. We had over 200 people there. You walk in, we had the place decorated. We had the fight song, Gamecock trivia. We tried to make it as fun as we can, as if we're in Williams-Brice. At halftime, we did Gamecock trivia. I took photos of the event where I'd stand on the corner on a table on the corner of the room and get aerial shots of the group. And then, so the first part is to have an event. Second part is to obviously make sure it goes smooth. The third part is to market it afterwards, where I want you to feel bad for not coming. Dang it, I should have been there. That was a lot of fun. Don't be lazy, come to the event. So instead of crying about, we don't have our club and we're not really doing a whole lot here, this is an opportunity. We get to create whatever we want. So we broke down the categories of social events, charity events, professional events, and said, depending upon someone's what they're looking for, we'll have that opportunity for all. So we started identifying what's our target market and who can we really do something with. So the thought process is, if you move to Charlotte, North Carolina, or any other city, if I want to connect with Gamecocks, we can plug you in whether you're 22, 52, or 82 years old. So it started out really just as just a bunch of people. It was really myself and just some of my friends. And then I started meeting people and said, you know what, I don't want just groupthink here. If we're really focusing on Gamecocks, it can't be just a bunch of people that look like me. So I was reaching out to males, females, old, young, gay, straight, really the true corporate checkbox. The cool part about that is no matter what your political view is, we know it's a crazy world now, no matter your view, no matter your age, there's one common love, and that common love is the University of South Carolina. So we broke down the categories of social events, charity events, professional events, and then we just started having at it. And we took a page from the Charlotte Chamber. So if you don't know, Charlotte's the 16th largest city in the country. 365 of the Fortune 500 companies have business presence in town. It's a booming city. There's a lot of energy here. How can we capitalize upon that? We started calling this place Charlotte, South Carolina. It's not that far away. It's 80, 90 minutes, depending upon how fast you drive. We play football up here a lot. We're starting to have baseball games up here. There's an NBA program up here. So as far as I'm concerned, this place is Charlotte, North Carolina. So while I spearheaded a lot of this, I also had the opportunity to find some wonderful people help me along the way. So I have a board, and I have old, young, male, female, black, white, gay, straight. I mean, like you pick the checkbox. It's really a diverse group, and it's really cool seeing people that have always done something some way or never would have left their circle. I mean, we're talking about retirees that only talk about Gamecock recruits, meeting younger people that are working, and they're teaching each other about Facebook and telling old stories. And it's just nice to find that camaraderie. So the thought process is, now there's over 14,000 alumni in Charlotte. It's just a number if we don't come together. There's over 300,000 living alumni. It's just a number if you don't come together. So if you quit your job or needed an opportunity and you move to Charlotte, we can plug you in socially. Socially can mean many things. So it doesn't mean just drinking alcohol. There's volunteer events. There's Habitat for Humanity. There's donating your time, talent, energy towards particular events. And then there's the professional component. We have a lot of Gamecocks in town. We've had a lot of events. We'll gather their information. We'll take your resume and we'll send it out. You could get 0 calls. You could get 1. You could get 10. Doesn't matter. Point is we can help you find a job. Another way is we're volunteers. We don't have any money. So if we know that we're on Facebook and we're on Twitter and we're on Instagram, and we know that we have a following, we know that we can bring people to events. The next part is when we walk up to a bar or a restaurant, we don't say, "Hi, can we please use your side room?" And they'll say, "Here's your minimum of what you have to do here," or what the minimum is there. No. We kind of flip the script, and we stole a page from the Charlotte Chamber. The Charlotte Chamber of Commerce has a monthly happy hour. And they were having it at the most random places. And I would go to these particular venues and think, how do they have all these people at this particular place? And I found out these people are actually paying for the promotion to the Charlotte Chamber. So I thought, ding, 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 if there's 14,000 alumni in town, not that all 14,000 people are coming to the event, even if they don't come to the event, we can take their logo, their website, their Facebook page, their Twitter, their Instagram, whatever, and promote them. You can't buy that promotion. So we want to make the event fun. We want to make sure that the restaurant is all in, where we're going to under promise and over deliver. So if you give us that room for free, you give us some free appetizers, I can't guarantee the amount of people that are going to come, but we're going to go above and beyond to promote you. You take care of us, we're going to take care of you. And that has worked out pretty well, to the point where a lot of bars and restaurants now, luckily we're so big at this point, it didn't start out like this, but we're so big that people on a regular basis recruit us, and they offer X and they offer Y, because they know that we will bring a lot of people. Now, I don't know if I can say this in the video, but the world's largest bar crawl is during St. Patrick's Day. And that particular day is an entire day of drinking. Whenever we had the Final Four basketball run, we were at a bar that has now unfortunately closed down, called Flight. And Flight said that during that 4-hour span, we drank more in that 4-hour span than the entire day's worth of the world's largest bar crawl. So I say that laughingly, because the Gamecocks, win or lose, we know how to have a good time. The bar obviously is so happy that we're spending a lot of money with them. They take a portion of those proceeds and then donate it to our scholarship. So they wrote a $4,000 check to us, to our scholarship fund, just because we basically showed up and drank and had a good time. So my point is it's one thing to have fun. It's one thing to plan a party, and depending upon the need or the venue, you can get kickbacks whether you use that money for example, if you promote My Carolina and all these people become My Carolina members, you can potentially get money for your club, which you can then use for appetizers and other things in the future as well. So is the goal to have more money to potentially buy appetizers if you can't find a bar or restaurant, or do you want to raise some money for a scholarship? So my point is you're really just limited to your imagination.
Absolutely true. So I wanted to ask you a question, something you kind of brought up earlier. I mean, I love the idea, and I think you're absolutely right. When you start, you can go to those places and say, we're going to give you X, Y, Z. This is free promotion. The Alumni Association is going to send out your name to all these, alumni in your market. or your constituents. When you're getting started though, is that awkward? Is that an awkward conversation? How did you get your foot in the door? And how do they
It's
know you were serious?
it's really awkward. It's hard. You have to ask. You figure out what is the best part of town that where do I think I can find a crowd? And so I picked one of the hip areas in town and I found one of the newer bars. And I did that on purpose because it's a newer area, which means it's a cool place to go to. And that bar needs promotions. So because they need the promotion, I just told the owner, hey, this is what we need to do. And so you just have to ask the question. If you don't ask, you're not going to receive. So we have a lot of clubs or other parts of other groups that I'm a part of, non-related to the University of South Carolina, that will have a club chair, a president, or whatever. What does it matter if you have a title if you're not doing anything? It's a privilege. It's an honor to represent the school. It's an honor to be president. I don't take it for granted. It's just fun, and you grow and you evolve. I started out, I was young, I was single. Since then, I've gotten married and bought a house. I have 2 kids. And every time a life event happened, they'd say, well, when are you going to hang it up? I'm like, I got married. I had a kid. I didn't die. Like, I still love this stuff. I might change the events. I'm not going to all the happy hours. I might do dads and donuts, Gamecock related wise, or things of that nature, and meet other Gamecock parents. So you're just kind of limited to your imagination. And then because I have a board and a great support system of people, I've been able to go out and meet these people individually, where I would meet people and invite them out for a coffee or for a beer and just get to know them. What are your passions? What are you good at? Oh, you're good at recruiting? You're in the IT recruiting business? Great. Can we add you to our resume distribution list? Check. He's an advocate now. Then I
That's
go
so
to another
important.
person.
Yeah.
Go to another person and like, what are your strengths and weaknesses? What lines of work are you in? Do you have any connections? And it's just really just working it and just, I mean, having fun with it. I don't get paid to do this stuff. It's just, I enjoy it. And now I've done it for so long that if I hung it up and you all got rid of me, I don't even know what I do with all my free time. You know, it's fun, you know, but I can tell you my 3.5-year-old daughter, she knows how to do this. Go Gamecocks. So it's fun. You get out of it what you put into it. And I have friends right now that are, I'm 37 years old. So maybe I'm old, maybe I'm young, depending upon who's listening to this. But I have friends that are 22 years old. I have friends that are my age. I have friends that are 82 years old. So that's 6 different decades of Gamecocks that I could pick up the phone and call or text and talk about anything. So it's a lot of fun. You meet a lot, you get out of it what you put into it, and that's just life.
Absolutely. Well, and kind of going along with our theme, you know, you're connecting in the community. It's so much more than venues, right? It's not just finding a next bar for your event or your next kind of area for your next breakfast series. It's connecting in your community. That includes getting to know folks. Can you kind of just walk us through how you started doing that? Because you have built quite a large board. They're a great board too. I love working with the Charlotte Gamecocks, and I just wanted to know, you know, how did you start doing that? How were you able to find the right folks and kind of bring them on board within your community?
So I actually put a post out on Facebook and I said, we have a couple of ideas. If you'd like to get involved, please send us a message. And I turned the comments off because you don't want Dumb and Dumber coming on board. Just saying. They sent me a message. I give them a call. I talked to them and kind of vet it out really. And if I felt that they were a right fit for what we're trying to do, then I would bring them on board. And then I also, when we get together, I would present them kind of with a word bank. And the word bank was really just an idea bank of the types of events that we could potentially have. Should we have a Gamecock softball team? Do you want to help with social media? You have no desire to go to a happy hour? Great. Would you like to set up and volunteer for set up some family events? Do you want to set up a shag club? Do you want to set up a brewery tour? Do you want to set up a Gamecock picnic? I mean, like, what would you like to do? What's your passion? Oh, you're an IT person. Can you help people with X? I mean, it's just planning a party and finding people that are willing to do the party. Now, when you have the event, you need to be greeted as well. So, for example, if I move to a new city and I don't know anyone, I have that one chance to make that first impression. So when I walk up, we make sure that there are 2 or 3 board members at all time that are going to greet you when you walk up. Because otherwise, it's really bad when you walk into an event. There's a bunch of Gamecocks around, yes, but no one's talking to you, and it's kind of cliquey. So that's one thing. So we kind of have our own little 2 or 3 person greeting committee, and then they kind of usher them from one side of the room to the other side of the room. And then We all are on the same page with our talking points of this is how you get involved. These are some things that you can do. So that's one thing that we do as well. When you do the charity stuff, it's not just about money. It could be just going to Habitat for Humanity or doing a canned food drive. I mean, it's just, there's so many things that you can do. Do you have any old clothes, any old jackets you don't need? Great. There's a local men's shelter. So, I mean, there's so much you can do. And a lot of it could be customized based upon the city that you live in.
I love that too. I love you're finding you're getting to know your board members and know what makes them tick, and then connecting them with the thing that the club wants to do. How long can you how large is your board? I feel like, I'm always meeting new board members, but they're all bought in. How are you able to keep them engaged once they're there?
So it's not easy, but you have to have regular communication. And when we get together, we have fun. We share food, we share adult beverages. And it shouldn't feel like, oh, I have to go to this board meeting. It should be fun. You're going to go see your friends. So we all have everyone's emails, everyone's cell phone numbers. We get together and I just lay out, this is our mission statement. This is what we're looking to do. And then you get the ideas, and ideas are great, but you got to create action. So you mentioned new board members. Eventually people come and go. People get new jobs. People don't have time. They move away. They get married. You pick the reason. But we still have a core group of people that over time just evolves. And it's really, if you don't want to be here, it's okay. None of us are getting paid to do that. But if you are here, there needs to be some accountability. If you're signing up for something, great. Please do it and do it the right way. Otherwise, don't do it, because now you're starting to make us all look bad. So it's just setting that proper expectation and finding people that can be mature with what they're looking to do. And it usually it's not too hard to kind of figure out if someone's really in something or not. So we want people that are going to walk, not talk. So we get together in the beginning of the year in January. I have this massive idea bank that I'm happy to share with. And then we basically just plan out our schedule for the rest of the year. This is what we're going to do in January. This is what we're going to do in February. Sindarius Thornwell's coming. Maybe he's playing against the Charlotte Hornets. Let's do that. It's really not hard. It's just thinking about how you can work hard and work smart with some events.
It sounds like, and I know this for a fact, that sometimes you do more than one event in a month. Can you kind of talk about the importance of consistency when you're trying to build your network and connect in your community?
So consistency is really one of, I think, the biggest reasons why we've done so well. We consistently post on social media. We consistently have events. And then eventually over time, there's only so many people that own so many bars or restaurants in town. So people know at certain times of the year, we're going to do certain things. So for example, every Columbus Day in October, we have a golf tournament. And now this will be 10 years in a row, 11 years in a row, provided provided we're allowed to really do it this year. That's to be determined. But when you're consistent, you build up a reputation. And then if you're consistent with that, a random business can go online and say, I'd love to market to some alumni people. And they look at our website and they see all the photos and see all the events and they're like, wow, there's some energy going on here. So that's, I mean, consistency is a big deal.
Oh yeah. And I feel like, you can't just do football season. You have to keep it going. You have to have that momentum riding, and changing up the events too a little bit. It's good to do like a monthly happy hour, but maybe sprinkle in, an educational or a community service. And then also have your signatures. Your golf tournament raises so much for your scholarship, and that's huge. One thing you talked about was social media, and that's another piece that I think is often forgotten about when connecting, not just in your community, but to the world. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit, and the content that y'all put together?
So we try to mix it up a little bit. It's not just football related. If I wanted nothing but football related stuff, I'll go to a football site. We are not allowed to really post certain things about recruits because that's potential NCAA violations. But if you go to this thing called Google and set up Google Alerts, you can set up an alert for South Carolina Gamecocks. An email comes in, and then you just frankly just post it. And it could be about the university, it could be about My Carolina, it could be about Muschamp, it could be a former player maybe doing something. That's another thing too. If there's any local former athletes or any other famous celebrities that are Gamecocks within the area, get them to come to an event. We're careful how we promote them because we've promoted people, and those people didn't show up for the event. So you got to be careful with that. But these athletes love showing up and basically getting some love. So we've had a good time with inviting lots of former players. A lot of it depends on where you're located.
Very true, very true. But I've noticed you do some special touches on social media. You might throw a birthday wish or anniversary wish out there.
That's another point. So we
along.
value our board members. So if there's an anniversary, if they're having a kid, or if they got a new job, we will do some individual shout outs and promote like, hey, it's not just James Wolfe. It's not just me. I've been here for a long time. I've got 18 wonderful people behind me, and we do our best depending upon what their need is. Depends on if you're introverted or extroverted, but we do our best to get these people out into the community, because if you're helping us, we want to help you out too. So now when I say help us out, there's a difference between someone that loves the school and they're here trying to find business. You can pick up on that really quick. This isn't a place where if you do business with people because you build relationships, fine. But this isn't a place, you're here because you love the Gamecocks, not because, oh, I need to sell someone a bunch of products. That's not what we do.
Yeah, that's not authentic. And I think people will see that too. I love that. I love that you said that. That's so right. I do have just a couple more questions if you have the time. One, let's say you have an event, you're at a new venue, and you have 10 people show up. Do you raise an alarm? Do you freak out, or do you just move on to the next one? How do you handle that? How do you recover from that?
Well, there's pros and cons to it. When you have such a large event, it's exciting to say I have a large event, but how much bonding do you actually get to do? So if you do have a smaller event, did those 10 people get to connect? Did you get to shake hands? So it's a judgment call. And if we wanted to have a larger crowd and only have 10, why is that? Is it the location? Is it hard to get to because of traffic? Is there a holiday? Is there some other venue going on? So when you do your planning, if there's a big festival going on the other side of town, maybe today's not the best day to have an event. So you're going to make mistakes, and it's okay. But even if you had 10 people, 5 people, whatever, as long as those people said, you know what, that was fun, I consider that to be a win, because depending upon some of the cities that you're in, you might only have 40 Gamecocks total in your particular area. So as long as you're getting together and having fun, I think that's all that matters. But it is okay to plan an event and not have a lot of people, provided you have fun. And then you figure out, did we not promote it enough time in advance? Did the restaurant not help promote it as well? So when we go to the restaurant or the bar, we're going to promote you, but you need to promote as well. So you have to be consistent. So they get their stuff out, we get our stuff out, and then we can say, we put our best foot forward.
I think that's a great point that you made there too. You might not have the most amount of people, but you might have made an impression on someone who could one day be a great board member. Maybe they're the person that takes over one day, years down the road, or whatever the case may be, but you might light that spark in them. And so don't be discouraged. I love that. One other thing I wanted to ask you, what advice would you have for new clubs, or maybe a new club chair?
If you're a new chair, feel free to reach out to me, but really think, why are you the club chair? What are you looking for? You're looking to meet new people? You're looking to have events? Like, what's the purpose of that? You got to figure out your target market. What are you good at? If you're good at planning a golf tournament, then plan that. You don't need to plan something that you're not good at. So start small and then just focus on some bigger things. A happy hour is an easy way to do it. If you don't want to call it a happy hour, call it a networking event. It's just marketing. It's just coming up with different ways to generate a buzz and get some momentum going. So come up with a couple of ideas. Don't kill yourself doing that. Have fun with it. If you're not having fun with it, maybe you shouldn't be the club chair, but it's okay. Have some fun with it and brainstorm, do the happy hour, maybe a famous Gamecock, Darius Rucker's coming around. You have a tailgate party prior. I mean, I don't know. It's just, you're just limited to your imagination.
It's a very good point, and it's something that I know you kind of live by as the club chair. Is you're limited to your imagination, and there's really nothing that I've never seen your club not do. So we appreciate it. We can't thank you all enough for everything you've done as a club. I'd say Charles has been one of our most consistently active big time clubs. So do you have any other parting pieces of wisdom you'd like to add before I let you go?
I'd say always ask Steve Curtright for a lot of swag, because people love koozies and Riley towels. Invite President Caslin to come to your city. Invite Coach Tanner to come to your city. Like, whatever resources you have, whoever's going to be nearby, you have to keep in touch with the university. And even if people can't attend events, at least get them to update their contact information, because we cannot contact you if we don't have your contact information. A lot of people, I didn't get that email. Well, that's maybe because it's geographically based, and maybe their parents' address is still on file. So remind people, update your contact information, at least get on our email list. And then if you can't make the event the next 2 months, it's okay. Come to the next one. And even if you can't come to the event, you can still text your friends or invite them on Facebook. You can still do your part to help grow what we are trying to do, even though you can't actually make the event.
That's so true. And yes, use us. You think of the Alumni Association as your biggest allies. We're more than happy to ask any questions about anyone participating or anything else that we can do. We're more than happy to do that. And what I always say is shoot your shot. You never know. So.
And what's really cool is you plan the event. You just go to that My Carolina link and put in all the details: date, time, location. This is the venue. And then you all do all the work for us. You do a mass email, you create the flyer for us. We share it on our social media, but it's, it's just be smart about it. We're college graduates. We're Gamecocks. We're smart. We can figure stuff out. So it just
best and brightest, man.
That's right.
Well, James, thanks so much. It's a Friday night, so I won't hold you up. I know you got some of those Charlotte beers that you're looking at getting into. I'm going to give you a toast. Thank you so much for joining us. I also have a Charlotte one. Thanks, man. And, keep it rolling for us. And then we got little sunglasses there for you.
Hey, thanks for the opportunity,
James.
and I look forward to meeting you all.
Absolutely. And we will have your email address underneath at some point. So if anyone needs to reach out to James, he's great to work with. A lot of our club chairs have reached out to him. So he's always happy to share his knowledge. So thanks again, James, and we'll have a great day.
Thank you.
All right. See